essentially, you could start a consultancy, an agency that would assist in onboarding brands from Web 2 to Web 3. You could assist the launch of a consumer brand for any given company, or a Web 3 company branch of a Web 2 company from a consultancy or another corporation. Why are you utilizing Web3 technology to do this? What makes the difference? Because, your children could take over your Web2 consulting firm, right? In the same way they could take over the project or the future revenues of the project, People would be more comfortable dealing with you that way. There would be a lot less stress into onboarding these companies. Why have you chosen to use Web3?
That's a really good question. Really, really good question. I think this comes into what we want to achieve as individual people. I've been fortunate enough that God's given me skills, God's given me everything I need to go out there and be able to build wealth for myself. If you have enough, do something for others. It's just the way I've been brought up. My grandfather was born in a mud hut in a really small village in India. In fact, we still own the land where the mud hut was built. And it was a one-room mud hut. And he was an only child, so it was him, his mum, dad. And that one room was their kitchen, it was their bedroom, it was their living room, it was their bathroom. And of course, it's a mud hut, so what amenities are you going to have? My granddad went from being born in a mud hut to being a doctor, being a politician in India, which is really difficult in India. And not just being a politician, but being a successful, quite one of the most powerful ones at his time. And then having 4 children himself, sending them all to England and being able to afford to settle them down here. And alongside doing all of this in his village, and I remember when his funeral happened, there were over 5,000-6,000 people that attended. You saw kids coming there from the ages of 4, 5 years old. He knew from the youngest children in his village, in his town, to the oldest people, from the poorest people to the richest people. And at his funeral was one place where everybody turned up. Why? Because he gave so much to everybody that wealth and success for himself became a byproduct of doing things for others. Because he brought me up, maybe that's instilled in me. My father, from the age of 45, 50 years old to the day he died about 2 years ago, he gave up his job and worked in the local temple, worked for charity for free, with zero income for 25 years. And he wasn't wealthy. It's just the way that we brought up, the way I've been brought up. Yes, you can create wealth for yourself, but your success shouldn't be measured on what you do for yourself. Your success should be measured on what you do for others. What Web3 allows me to do is achieve those things, and maybe the way I'm going to do it is by creating the next 100 leaders. If my beliefs are good, if what we're creating is good, it will be repeated by 100 times more in the culture that these people create in their own companies. And all of a sudden, you start to change an industry. You don't just start to change a company. If we want to make Web3 successful, then we need to create leaders in Web3. We either got to have the old leaders of Web2 come and take over, or we've got to create an environment where these people from Web3 can go to learn. And that's what we want to do. We want to create an environment where people can learn and become leaders, because that means we as this company have touched the lives of 400 or 500 people, but then indirectly, we've probably touched the lives of thousands of people, because those guys are going out there and implementing our ethos of building culture and giving back.
It's a very beautiful message, but I just think that on the other side of it, to deliver on your goal, you could be charging the Web2 companies to have you build out these plans and supplying the knowledge to the Web3 people.
That's free. Exactly what's going to happen. That's why. With network, we have with the pass, we're creating the 400. Well, when these 400 leaders that we have within this community create their proofs of concept product, guess where it's going to next? Why are we setting up multiple revenue streams? Why are we setting up a blockchain staffing firm? Why are we setting up a blockchain consultancy? To bring that revenue in, so that, yes, we can create these products and give that knowledge for free. Brad, when you speak to him, is a real advocate of education, as am I. But the education is in 2 different ways. His is, fundamental education that you need, your ABCs, your syllabuses that you need to learn. My education is education of real life, learning with experience. And it would be great to create an environment where both can be provided for free. I think the metaverse creates that. The metaverse creates an opportunity where People may not have the money to travel to an office, but they all freaking have mobile phones. And I'm sure that from those mobile phones, they can easily access different places where they can get information from. I guess the problem we have is that once we've created this network and we've created all of this knowledge and information, how do we share it? How do we make it easily accessible, like you said, to the everyday person? And that's a problem we're still yet to solve. But I think that problem is better solved with 400 heads coming together rather than me trying to solve it myself.
It definitely is, because the average everyday person does not necessarily have a mobile phone. It sucks. A lot of people in the world don't have access to internet or clean drinking water, you know? And we're here thinking about like,
Yeah, that's just
how to
it.
best use our MetaMask. It's a very
I know,
different
yeah,
world.
you hit the nail on the head. Clean drinking water in different places, you know, different things here. So that's what I mean. Like, you know, once we've created these proofs of concept and this platform, the fact is, if you have 400 individuals of this much knowledge and wealth that come in one place, you do have the power to do things. You do have the power to make a difference. I've been involved in a project which builds schools in areas and countries that can't afford to have schools or education. These guys do it. But 2 weeks after the project minted, the whole community abandoned it because they're not interested in that utility. You know, one of the best things about the NFT industry is the creativity of the young people, but that's also the worst thing of the industry is the inexperience of the young people. They come in and they will say to you, yeah, we want to be involved, we want to support this cause, we want to support this project, and then 2 weeks afterwards they're like, yep, flip, it's gone. Are people really here to support a good cause, or are they here to flip an NFT?